How do we protect the land we love? We've always thought of our rivers as free and open, but are actually shaped by humans. We can be destructive, but by changing our perspective, we can restore nature back to health in the most surprising ways. By each one of us being aware of the consequences of our actions, we can discover new ways of understanding and valuing our rivers, while they are still full, all a part of a new kind of life. I get many comments about how much water a marijuana plant uses per day. Different weather conditions and growing techniques will increase or decrease those numbers. My question is, where does your water come from? It doesn't matter what you grow. It does matter if your grow technique contributes to the dewatering of a creek or river, threatening the extinction of a species. Rain catchment is a solution, not a dichotomy. I didn't ask the question, who's pumping the river dry? I asked myself, how am I pumping the river dry? It's human nature to say it's somebody else, not me, but we're all culpable. Imagine a cannabis that does not threaten the ecosystem, but is grown in a closed, sustainable loop, clean and pure. Now, this is how I clean my roof. The first rain of the season, I open this up and let it wash that roof clean. Now these cleanouts, you can also set that plug loose to a slow drip, so you don't have to worry about your pipes freezing in the wintertime. With a slow drip, you're still going to catch water, and then after it stops raining, it'll slowly drain itself, and that way you prevent your pipes from freezing. Now, what's most critical on your selection of tanks is you want to keep the sunlight out, and you want to keep the mosquitoes out. So it's got to be a completely enclosed system, or else you get algae growing in your water and mosquitoes breeding all over the place. These are steel tanks from Australia. They've got a plastic liner in them. They're 15,000 gallons each, 7.5 feet tall, probably about 20 feet in diameter. Now these tanks catch the overflow from my poly tanks up high, and I'm able to store water through the summer in these tanks. This is the inlet pipe feeding water from the gutters on the roof up into the tank. So this is the inlet. This is the overflow. That's the feed pipe. That overflow goes on down to the big tanks down below. When these tanks become dry, I have a solar pump down on the big tanks that fills these tanks back up. This water is powered by a solar panel and a 12-volt sure flow water pump. And that's what pressurizes my system. If you're lucky enough to be on a slope, you can use gravity. Some people put in ponds as rain catchment, but as you can see, algae can become a real problem. With tanks, algae is a non-issue. When you look at the water analysis, what we're looking at right now is a test done on my rainwater. You can see that, like, the total dissolved solids is 12 milligrams. At the Garberville Water District, the total dissolved solids from the Eel River are 130 milligrams. Basically, there's just nothing in this water. People worry about bird poo on the roof, but you can see the total coliforms and E. coli is totally absent. It's just not an issue. You'd have to have a lot of birds on your roof to pollute your water. The pH is, you can see here, the pH is 6.29, which is pretty darn good for cannabis plants. And the other stuff in here is just negligible. A lot of non-detected. And you look at the Garberville Sanitary District and what they've got in their water, which they're pulling out of the Eel River, it's a little bit higher. But rainwater, as far as growing plants, is a pretty good way to go.